Hey babes, it's Carrie J and welcome to Nappy Hair Gems from a Pro. For those who may not know, I am a licensed hairstylist and I own my own salon suite in the Chicago South Loop area. So today's gem, we'll be talking about hair appreciation and texture. I encounter so many beautiful ladies on a daily basis and they have so many different like hair textures, patterns. I mean, like, it's fun to me, honestly. I get to play in hair all day long. But I still run into a lot of women who really just don't like their hair. They don't like the texture, they don't like the pattern, they don't like anything about their hair. Honestly, for me, it really breaks my heart because I'm like, man, you don't see like how dope your hair is? Like, I'm like thinking of all these different like hairstyles that I can do, all these like color, like I can add a little pop here, a little cut here, but they really don't see it because they really just don't like their hair. They haven't really learned how to appreciate it. When I'm in a salon, I do everything I can to really show people and to help them appreciate their hair and to understand their hair. So I know that historically our hair has been deemed to be undesirable, it's ugly, it's disgusting. However, I love this quote that Lupita stated, and she said that our hair is like clay and you can mold it to whatever you want it to be. And that is so true. Like, you can, our hair is literally like clay. You can do so much to it. You can twist it, you can braid it, like you can shape it, you can do, I mean, the possibilities are endless. Like, our hair is so versatile that it makes no sense. Really, nobody has our hair. And that's why I would not change my hair for the world. I would not change it at all. The whole reason I'm doing this is because I want to help you guys understand your texture more so that you can appreciate the hair that you do have, okay? So I want to jump right into this gem and just to help you guys understand a little bit more information about how our hair is and how it behaves. I want to talk about 3 factors that really affect our hair. The first factor is heredity. So pretty much like your DNA, okay? A lot of people don't realize that the majority of our hair and like the structure of it, it's pretty much DNA, okay? DNA, it controls the way your hair is shaped, it controls the color, it controls the texture, it controls the density. It pretty much predetermines everything, like from jump. You have your own unique like fingerprint when it comes to your hair. Even within families, like me and my siblings do not have the same texture as one another. There's always like some subtle difference or maybe a huge difference. Me and my mom don't have the same texture at all. Our hair is completely different. And that just shows you that everybody has their own fingerprint when it comes to their hair, right? The second thing that affects your hair and in the way it behaves is your environment, okay? If you are in a climate that has really, really heavy rains or you have a ton of humidity, guess what? Your hair is going to react to that. Your hair will pull from every single possible drop of moisture in the air, okay? Because that's what it's doing. That's what your hair wants. Your hair is always looking for moisture. And so when you have that extra moisture in your hair, that pretty much affects what we call the hydrogen bonds in your hair. Those hydrogen bonds are responsible for your hair shape. So if you have a bomb twist out, or if you just got your hair blown out, and if it's raining outside, or if the humidity is through the roof, guess what's gonna happen? Most of y'all already know already, but your hair is gonna become frizzy or it's gonna become limp if you live in climates that have serious winds. Now, being here in Chicago, most of y'all know Miss Wendy, okay? Miss Wendy will tear up some stuff. She will ruin a hairstyle. She will blow it that way. She will blow it this way, okay? We have strong winds here, especially in the wintertime. The wind, that air like automatically makes our hair super dry. It's taking away moisture from our hair. So you have to be very mindful with that as well. The third factor is products and appliances. Your products, you really choose your products based off of the result that you're trying to achieve, okay? So you may want to get a shampoo that has, or conditioner that has a lot of moisture because your hair is dry. So you have to be very mindful of that. And your appliances. Appliances also play a big role. If you are blow drying your hair and flat ironing your hair every day, sis, let me tell you, it's gonna affect your hair in some way, shape, form, or fashion. Trust and believe, okay? Just letting you know. So those three main factors, your heredity, your environment, and products and appliances, all have to be taken into account when you are dealing with your hair and understanding your hair. The next thing I want to talk about, and I want to break down even further, is texture. Texture, by definition, just means the degree of coarseness or fineness of your hair strand. That's it. And texture is really talks about the diameter, so how big or how small your hair strand is. Texture is broken down into three categories. So you have a fine texture, which fine hair it has a very soft feel to it. It almost feels like silk, and the diameter is super small. The second one you have is medium texture. Medium texture is about it's a little bit bigger. It's smack dab in between fine and coarse. So it's not too big and it's not too small. And medium hair, it has a feel of cotton almost, okay? The third is coarse. So coarse hair is very gritty. It almost feels rough to the texture, and I can pretty much describe it as like as if you're like touching wool almost. It has a very like a gritty texture to it, and the diameter is a lot bigger. It's the biggest out of all three. Next, I want to talk about density. Density pretty much talks about how many active hair strands you have per square inch all over your head, okay? Density is also broken down into three sets, okay? You can have a light or low density. That means you don't have as many hair strands in that section. You have a medium density where you have a good amount of hair within that square inch. So you have a good amount of hair all over your head, okay? Now, somebody who has really heavy density, their hair, they have a bunch of strands like packed into that 1 square inch. So their hair appears to be super full, really dense. If you've ever seen somebody who has really dense hair, you cannot like find their scalp at all. It's hard. You try to pull back and see, okay girl, where's your scalp? Like we on a little hunt for this scalp, okay? So density also plays a huge role in how you style your hair. When you're trying to part your hair, or if you're trying to like wrap your hair on a perm rod, or if you're trying to do a twist out, or if you're trying to curl your hair with a flat iron, a curling iron, whatever tool you're using, your density plays a huge So if you have a lighter density, when you're doing certain styles like twist styles, you want to actually do bigger sections. And I tell my clients this because your hair is going to come out in the curl that you actually want it to. Very high density requires smaller sections of hair. It will affect the result of the curl. It will affect your drying time too. If you have a ton of hair and you try to throw in a little, you know, big twist here, big twist there, guess what, sis? You're gonna be sitting up under the dryer for God knows how long. And I know some of y'all don't like that dryer. I already know, including myself. I don't like the dryer. Next, we're gonna talk about porosity. Porosity is basically your hair's ability to absorb moisture, liquids, or chemicals. Porosity pretty much is one of the main factors when it comes to you selecting your hair products, how long your hair takes to process like color, anything like that, and it also affects processing time. Okay, so there are 3 different tiers of porosity. So you have low porosity or resistant porosity. You have average, or you have medium porosity, and then you have really high or extreme porosity. With low or resistant porosity, your hair is very resistant to absorbing any type of moisture and chemicals. How I like to describe porosity is, I like to use the example of shingles on a roof. Okay, that's how I always do it. So when you have resistant porosity, your cuticle, imagine this is your cuticles. You have several like layers of cuticles on your hair strand. Okay, when your hair is resistant, it has lower porosity, your cuticle looks like this. Okay, it's like the shingle on the roof. It's super close. There's nothing getting into it. They're very tight and they're very compact. So it's going to take a little bit longer for any type of moisture to get in or any type of chemicals to actually process. Average or medium porosity pretty much is, we're going to do shingles. We're going to keep doing this, the shingles on the roof. Okay, example. So when you think about average or medium porosity, it's a little more open. Okay, so it's almost like a little mouth that's open. Okay, so when you have average or medium porosity, your cuticle layer is slightly like raised, and that allows the products or the chemicals to absorb easily into your hair with no problems. Okay, so this is really like what you want to aim for. That means that your hair is healthy. That means your hair is getting a good amount of moisture, and your processing time with color or relaxer, your hair can easily process those certain chemicals. So the 3rd tier is extreme or high porosity. Okay, high porosity, you do not want to have high porosity. Okay, high porosity is described as this. So your cuticle layer is completely raised. Okay, it is open. It's open. With high porosity, that means your cuticles are very lifted, and or you are missing some cuticle layer. High porosity, your hair is able to take in that moisture, but as soon as you get the moisture, it's gonna leave right out. That was like a hole in your pocket. Okay, and then you may when you're doing like color processes, your hair might not be able to hold the color. You might grab on to that color a little bit too much. Your color will fade it will fade fast. Extreme porosity pretty much happens to those who have really like over processed hair. and that is due to over-processing. Can be from tools, it can be from chemicals, it can be it's really those main two. With extreme porosity, you'll have to start treating the hair with conditioning treatments, with strengthening treatments, or if it's really bad, you will most likely have to cut it. Okay, I know some of us don't want to get to that point, but a lot of times it is necessary to do that so that your hair can start to like get on a path of it being healthy again. Okay, next I want to talk about elasticity. Okay, so elasticity, I love to describe it as like that bounce back. Okay, like you want to see that spring action happen. Okay, but by definition is your hair's ability to stretch and return to its natural state without breaking. Think of it like a telephone cord, like the old school, like the ones your grandma used to have, like hanging up on the kitchen wall. But those telephone cords, the ones that have like the very tight curl as the cord. So when you stretch those cords, really you're expecting for that cord to go back. Your hair is the exact same way. So you really want to be able to like pull your hair and then it bounce back. That's your hair is in a good state when it comes to your elasticity. However, the more manipulation when it comes to like chemicals, when it comes to tools, you'll start to weaken your elasticity to the point where your curl will not come back. I have seen people's hair not return back to that elasticity, and it is the worst feeling ever, because at that point it's damaged. It's really like serving you no purpose whatsoever. Ways to keep that is to make sure like your hair has a good balance of hydration and strength, protein. Okay, so you want to make sure those are in unison with one another, so that way you don't have to worry about whenever you like switch back and forth certain styles, your elasticity is intact, is good, is A1. Okay, now your wave or your curl. Okay, this is the biggest thing when it comes to what we see on the outside. Okay, our wave and our curl is pretty much predetermined, like I stated before, by your DNA. So you can have a tight curl, you can have a loose curl, you can have a kinky curl, you can have a wave, your hair can pretty much be straight. Okay, that is genetically predetermined. That is something you cannot change unless you alter it with chemicals such as a perm or a relaxer. I know a lot of people see the hair charts and they categorize the hair in different categories depending on the curl, and then people pick products based off that. I personally do not follow the hair chart. There's just a few things for me that may be outdated, so I like to really break down the hair when it comes to texture, density, wave or curl, your elasticity. Those are the main things that are going to determine what you use in your hair, how you manipulate your hair to get the best result possible. With all of that information, okay, so many people can have high density and they can have very fine texture, or you can have medium texture and then you can have medium density, or you can have finer texture and you can have a low density. So everybody's hair is completely different, and you can also have like several different like structures within your own head. So you want to address those things first before you really start to get into purchasing products and understanding what styles will work for you, what styles, if you do want to do a certain style, how to manipulate it to get the best result on your your unique type of hair. Just to recap, I talked about texture, I talked about density, I talked about elasticity, porosity, your wave, or your curl pattern. Those things are really the most important things that you want to take into account when it comes to your hair. And even when you go to the salon, you want to be able to understand like certain looks that will work for you, and really to understand your hair so that when you're doing your hair at home, you're not, you're not frustrated. You're not giving up on your hair because it may not have turned out the way you wanted to. So I really hope that this video truly helps someone out there, even if it's just one person, okay? If it's just one, thank you. I appreciate it. I hope I helped you. I want to give you guys any information that I have. I have too much information in my head, and it's time for me. It's really time for me to share it. So I really hope that this video helped. If you guys have any questions, concerns, just hit me up. I'll put all of my information down there. Okay, make sure y'all read down there. Okay, but I'll put it all in the description. If you are in the Chicagoland area, you can, if you want to come in and book consultation, or if you want to come and book an appointment, you can do so. I'll link my website down below as well. And don't forget, ladies, love your hair, appreciate your hair, okay, and stay cute. Okay, so I love you guys. Thank you all for watching, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one. No, I'm kidding.